Hello, sir.
Tone,
How are you?
good man. How are you?
Very, very well. It is good to meet you, sir.
Yeah,
I
likewise.
We've been watching your stuff. You are a box full of knowledge, and I want you to know that we appreciate that some substance on this metaverse. The
That's
things
good.
that you talk about is remarkable. Now, just introduce yourself and where would you like to talk, sir?
Thank you, Tone. Yeah, and I woke up seeing your post on your weather this morning. You got
Oh,
quite the winter wonderland going on.
winter is coming. It's
So
not coming. It's here.
yeah, I'm in Massachusetts, of course, and so we're slightly east south of you, probably. You're in upstate New York, maybe.
Yes, yes, I
Okay.
am. I'm in Sodas, New York, by Rochester. I'm in the
Okay.
country. Country.
Yes. Well, I grew up spending summers up at the family farm in upstate New York, outside of
Really?
Plattsburgh. So spent most of my summers baling hay and bringing in corn harvest.
Oh wow! My wife knows a little bit about that. So
Oh,
you're
really?
yeah, you're familiar with the countryness.
I am. I'm a dairy farmer all the way.
That's awesome, dude. That is
Yeah.
awesome. How far does your family reach back into you
It's a
know?
rich history that they came over through Canada and were farming in the upstate New York area for the last 100 years. And my grandfather, I remember him telling me recently before he passed the stories of there used to be, he's described it as thousands of independent farms in the area, and they
Mhm.
whittled down to about two by the time he was about 20 years ago.
Wow.
And they are actually liquidating that. My uncles now are actually renting out the land, and it's funny, they're enjoying watching other farmers do the work on their land as they're kind of, for the
Ah,
first time in their life,
yeah,
relaxing and looking down at the work kind of happening. So
yeah.
yeah,
I've seen.
well earned for them.
Yeah, it's a lot of. We're working on trying to get us a homestead right now, so we're working towards it, and we're
That's
gonna
right.
go for it. That's where our spirit's calling us to go back to the land. Like I'm not a city guy. I
Uh-huh.
don't like the comp just on top of each other. It's just the wild openness is where I am. Like I love to see the cornfields, the apple trees, the orchards. Like it's just a little bit of different way of living upstate. You know,
Yes.
I
And
agree.
are you from upstate originally? I didn't
I
catch
am.
that story.
I was born in Lakeland, Florida. I came up here when I was maybe 7 or 5.
Okay.
So yes, basically,
Yes.
I am. I am this. I'm used to the snow. I can still remember when I saw it when I was a little kid.
Oh,
Oh
the
yeah,
first. Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of still a thing, but I'm used to it. It's
Yeah.
pretty, but freezing.
Yeah.
How much snow do you guys get up there? Like
We
in
probably get
Massachusetts?
the similar amounts. You probably beat us. You probably
Yeah,
beat us. Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
the most in a long time that we've ever had.
Okay.
So let's can we talk about your business in
Sure.
cannabis?
Sure. Yeah.
Where did that journey start with you?
Well, I didn't come up from cannabis originally. Cannabis itself was still a relatively new industry at the time. My professional background was in dentistry. So
Really?
I ran and operated multiple dental offices. While it
That's why you're
wasn't
so
retail,
smart.
yeah, it wasn't retail in the traditional sense. It was very much a customer forward facing business, and we saw dozens of patients a day. Managed, staffed, handled pricing. So, um, they're very similar in many ways. It functioned like a retail store. But my professional background was firmly outside of both cannabis and retail. Um, During my 30s, while I was still working in the dental field, I took dozens of trips to South and Central America,
Wow.
typically a couple of weeks at a time. And you know, these trips really reshaped the way I think.
Really? Oh God. Oh God. I want to know. I want to know. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, you start to see how informal economies function, right? How creative people come up with solutions when systems fail them. Um,
Hmm.
you start to appreciate things like security, and not having to, be overly concerned about that. So, um, that contrast has stuck with me. Um, I've been a lifelong entrepreneur. Running dental offices was,
That's
what I'm
dope.
talking about, managing teams, customers, constantly solving problems. And so when those offices were sold as a group, I was looking for a transition. So with that in mind, um, the grow shop became a place where I eventually settled. The story was, what we purchased a grow store back about 5 or 6 years ago.
Mm,
There was no fancy systems, no strong brand, just some dusty shelves, but people who genuinely wanted to learn how to grow. So one of the first things we did when we took the store over was I remember we changed the pricing. This was a big thing. There was, in my area, there generally no, you'd walk into a store and there was no pricing on everything, and you'd walk up to the counter and
yes.
negotiate. So we changed that right away. We made all the pricing transparent, everyday low prices for everybody, and so that was an improvement, I thought.
Yes.
At the
That
same,
works.
that works, right? You don't have to ask the owner what the price of
Yeah.
something is,
I
one
would. I
item
would
at a
assume.
time.
I would assume that would be hard for the business. Not a set price for items and products. Like you
Sure.
might. I don't know, but
Yeah,
go ahead.
and it wasn't the best experience for the customer either. To be honest with you. So
Yeah.
you know,
Having
um,
wanting to just know is a lot. Probably be a lot less stressful on the brain. You know.
and you don't quite, it's a little uneasy asking the price of something and then seeing the store clerk go through a book and give you an answer. It's what's going on here? Just I want transparency. So
That's right.
that was a good move. At the same time, we leaned hard into education, trust,
Yeah.
community. Clear pricing removed friction, and suspicion, and the education removed confusion.
I hear that.
So, together those things create trust, and instead of competing on sale, prices, gimmicks, hype, we focus on being straightforward, helpful, and consistent.
How, I don't know if you know the two and two marketing and you're in the business. I think you understand the two and two. You are marketing yourself with your reels, which is great content, by the way. How, do
Thank
you,
you.
where did you realize that promotion for your business through social media would benefit you, because you're doing it well and the content that you put out is very informative. Not only that, some of the things that you speak about, most of the stuff that me and my wife, we watch your stuff, and I'm like, the ice, the yellow leaves. There's so much that I was trying to tell people. No, they'll argue with me tooth and nail, but you seem to get it, and you don't mind speaking your mind. That's powerful.
Thank you,
Hats
sir.
off to you.
Over time, I think we've realized that the store wasn't just a retail space. It was a classroom, a place where real questions got asked and answered in real time. And it was also a content engine, not in a flashy way, but in a practical way. So every day we were explaining systems, troubleshooting problems, and walking people through decisions. And this all makes great content. And so once we
That's
put
right.
those things together, we're not chasing views. We're just trying to educate people and build trust.
I don't really know too many grow shops that really take pride in educating the public. How important is that for you? And why is that important for you? Are you trying to clear misconceptions or shake what's maybe misunderstood?
Well, yeah, education is not like a side project for us. It's a core part of the business model. If you don't educate new
Mhm.
growers, the market shrinks, and people don't magically show up knowing what to do. So, teaching fundamentals creates confident customers, reduces mistakes, builds long term trust. So, yeah, I mean, we've run a completely free ongoing growth school for more than 5 years.
Wow.
Um, that's strategy. Educated customers make better decisions. They have fewer problems, and they stay in our ecosystem longer.
I'm gonna. So you have a website because I'm pretty sure I can't go to Massachusetts. I'm gonna have to show. I show everybody who has a product on my podcast. Like we just bought some tinctures. What are they? What is it? Tinctures or topicals? We got from our last. So if you have a website of any kind, we would like to show you some love for the businesses. Not too many people who have actual products or something to offer. You know what I'm saying? So the interviews is just interviews.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And we are, we and it's funny, we don't have our website. We haven't blown it up with 30,000 items. What we're working on is curating a group
Yeah.
of brands that we stand behind, that we know how to use, that we're familiar
Mhm.
with, and offering those. So, coming to our website, it's a little bit of a different experience. It is a work in progress, but um, that is our
It's
retail philosophy. You won't see 30,000 items up on our site anytime soon.
good, piece by piece, brick by brick. There's nothing wrong with taking your time, man, low and slow. Low and slow. How hard? May I ask? I find it fascinating, anyone who runs any type of business, real business, how hard is it maintaining a business mentally? What are some perils, maybe some hills, leaps, hurdles that you may encounter through running an actual business? Your business is a real business. It's not just something you get a logo for, right? And then it's like, oh, we're a business now. No, you're a real entity. You're a real thing. How hard is it to maintain, like from a businessman's point of view? Honestly.
Sure. Well, being a business owner has its advantages and disadvantages. Some of the advantages are that you are largely in control of your destiny.
Hmm.
You can expect that your efforts hopefully will be rewarded. But that's
Yeah.
not always the case, and so these are some of the frustrations that an entrepreneur, and some of the downsides of that. Sometimes you can be putting in effort and not see those efforts pay off, and sometimes it takes a lot of patience to see through strategies to the point where they are gaining momentum and paying off. And to be sure, retail has some very difficult challenges these days. So businesses, businesses have to find ways to diversify and in order to stay alive. And so there are, you have to keep your head up. You've got to keep a positive attitude. You've got to know that you're in it for the long run, and you've got to have core principles.
Hmm. Hmm. I ask you because this podcast is a business, and I'd like to you you like to talk to people. Well, I like to talk to people like-minded, and just maybe the things that I learned from you, which I'm understanding, I'll implement in my own or podcast, the way I run things. It's always fascinating from a business standpoint for me because there are who are some okay, better question too. Who are some of the nice, better brands that you like to stand behind, that you promote through your store? If that's you could answer that.
Sure. Yeah. No, I have some brands that I have gotten to actually personally know the owners and their story, and do stand
Mm-hmm.
behind. You have brands like Canatrol. We've kind of grown up with them. You have brands like Grove Bags. I know the founder of that company. That's a wonderful story. Um, you have brands like Trim Bag, another outstanding company full of wonderful people. You have Build a Soil brand, another
Mm-hmm.
brand with some great people behind it. They've got the Rootwise brand as well. Another group of great people. So, yeah, and there's probably 5 or 6 other brands. It's not a humongous universe, but it is about 12 or so that I communicate with on the regular, and we are on a relationship basis. So they're not just I'm not just a retailer in many
Yeah,
cases to these companies as well. It's so
it's
yeah, we work
powerful.
together. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's about a collaborative collective. I will say. Now, one of your reels, I watched. Is it safe to talk about the legalization of what has happened to the plant?
Of course. Yeah.
Talk to me about how you feel and where do you think that look, what type of look that is for it.
Yeah, we're discussing, I think, the policy framing here, like how home grower rights are under pressure and such. I mean, this is not a theoretical issue for me personally.
Please, yeah.
I lived through the era where growing meant fear, silence,
I'm
real
scared right
personal
now.
risk, loss of property, loss of livelihood, loss of custody. These were not abstract ideas in the 90s. You know, that history is
Yeah.
why I'm willing to speak more directly here. Um, you know, my perspective is simple. You know, home growers' rights are under active pressure in multiple forms across the United States, not always through outright bans, but through regulatory erosion, executive action, and economic barriers that are quietly boxing people out.
Economic barriers. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure. I mean, like, for instance, in states like Texas, um, they have just they've redefined hemp, and they've just dramatically increased the licensing fees by orders of magnitude, and restructured compliance so that only well-capitalized
Jesus.
operators can survive. I mean, we're talking 100x times the existing licensing fees. So that message to me is clear that participation is no longer meant for the individual or small operator.
Does this mean that we'll be able still to grow at home, or is this all specifically in business and big pharma in cannabis, or does this mean bad news for the home grower?
Well, you know, the reality is, you have at the same time we have basically competing interests here. Um, you have on one side of it. Let me get my thoughts straight here.
I love when you talk about this because it's clear and direct. I mean, on your reels, like you can't miss the message. Go ahead.
Well, I try to put some thought into it so that the message can come out clear because it's important. Large corporate operators do not benefit uh, do not benefit from people supplying themselves, their friends or their families.
Right. Right.
Genetics, flower, and knowledge staying decentralized does not serve large centralized business models. On the other hand, the old legacy dealer networks often thrived in chaos and scarcity, and they benefit as well when legal, safe, transparent home growing is discouraged. So when
Mm.
people are unsure, fearful, or boxed out, that's where the informal markets gain leverage. So, genetics and flower moving freely among individuals undermines both corporate and black market leverage.
And that's just going to be okay. So one's not going to benefit the other, and the other is okay. Why you said orders of magnitude? I remember reading like a cultivation license is about. It was first I remember seeing it was like $5,000, like $100,000. So you mean to tell me if I'm getting this clear, $100,000 license is all it's going to be magnified to more?
In Texas, it is literally 100 times plus the licensing fees just this week that was enacted. So yes, a
What?
$1,000 fee went up to 100,000 for the same license.
So and this means going forward. I personally am basically asking, as long as it stays in business, in the business realm, if you guys want to do the big thing, if you guys don't want to, if you would not just trickle it down to the home growers, just leave it up there. That's what I'm more worried about because I don't do business in cannabis. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't affect me. Like if and this might be the ignorance of me, me going to Walmart and they're selling cannabis It doesn't affect me because I grow my, you know what I'm saying? I grow my own. So a lot of home growers are panicking, and I'm still not understanding why. Maybe it's just me.
Well, you have interests that are against home growers. You have in states like Massachusetts in particular. Um, we're seeing a concrete effort. A ballot initiative is going to be it's going to be on the ballot in 2026. They've
For
gone through
what?
the process of attaining signatures to roll back
Oh, gee,
significantly home grow rights. Like that's already been moved through the signature stage. Maine has just begun that process of gaining signatures. So you kind of see starting in the Northeast a little bit of a spear, if you would.
we gotta leave. This is exactly why we're moving to Germany. And people are like, "Tone,
I hope so.
Germany, for a homestead to be left alone." Like the United, I don't. It's gonna be hard to roll back to make things go. Even if they push grow home growing back how they were, I don't see another president gonna. It's gonna be harder, more time to change it back if they wanted to, you know. So it's very very it's a scary territory for me. You think basically, do you think they're gonna take our fucking rights away? Excuse my language. To grow it,
Well, the real danger right now is not a sudden nationwide ban. It's more a slow normalization of restriction, redefinitions, fee inflations, administration creep. Um, Rarely do rights disappear overnight. They'll erode quietly.
yeah.
So that's kind of why we're pushing the needle here. Silence has never protected home growers.
Do we have anyone that's speaking on our side on our behalf? Is there anyone someone saying anything? Maybe, like I know, like in Parliament in Australia, I interviewed this. I forget her name, but she's on our YouTube on an interview. Mrs. Mormon, I do believe, in Australia Parliament. She's a senator in Parliament, and she speaks in Parliament in front of me. Yeah, you can see on their faces they don't even want to hear it, but she's speaking and letting you know about cannabis. Do we have anyone? I don't know if we have anyone just to speak on the behalf of the plant. Do we?
You know,
I don't
there
know.
might be some, there might be some people, of course, in Washington that are pushing back. But really, it will take the efforts of individuals to make sure that our voices are heard, because there is largely nobody's standing up for the home grower. That person who is growing 3 to 12 plants at home and just wants to do so without having to look over their shoulder. That is the group here that's left largely unprotected in this scenario.
Mm. So how does this affect seeds? Do you know? Like, what does this mean what could this mean for breeders? Would this be something against seeds as well? Or the plant in specific?
Well, that definition seems to be in flux right now, with some uncertainty around it. Again, kind of what we're seeing is in states, where is it? I believe it was, I don't want to speak out of line. There was a state
Oh,
that just made put a proposal in place that they were going to allow home grow for a certain amount of plants, but seeds are going to be purchased through a state co-op, requiring likely a registration of some type, a data collection of the purchaser, and some type of centralized distribution of genetics. So,
what?
that is a question that home
What?
growers have on our mind, is access to genetics.
Okay, genetics. So does this mean that you just couldn't breed a plant at your house anymore? Or if you wanted, or let's say if you're growing cannabis and maybe an official comes on your property, they'll need to see like an origination point from where this came from? Like, right? Is that how that would work?
It could
And
mean that strains that you want to grow in the future could, in theory, require permission.
will this be because this this administration would be the only place that has access to that seed? I don't see how that could work. How could you? How? Seeds are everywhere, right? People have a little bit of everything somewhere. Or will they make something new? And then I don't get it.
Yeah.
How are you going to regulate nature? Like, I just don't get it. It's like regulating air,
Well,
right?
there is a playbook for it. It's done in other agriculture. It's been done. We all know the
Apple,
examples of
here,
corn. Sure.
yeah.
So there is a playbook for it, and that is the playbook that big ag goes for.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't like it, of course. My feeling is that people should be given access to genetics and should be able to comfortably grow a reasonable amount of medicine, right, for themselves, for their family. And this is a right in many states that's been voted on. And
Yeah,
of course, ballot rights can be reversed through ballot votes. So it's very much a cultural thing as well. So it's an interesting time we live in right now.
yeah,
2026 seems to be a pivotal year for grower rights, and which direction we end up taking for this. There are many uh, templates out there. United Kingdom, Australia. I don't want to speak out of line here, but I'm pretty sure you can purchase cannabis in stores
yeah,
at pretty high prices, actually. But home grows are completely banned.
yeah. I was just interviewing London, no, High Keys, London, a couple days ago, and he was the way that they move out there in the United Kingdom. You would feel like you would think that it's legal, but it's no. Not London, not Great Britain, not England, none of those places do not. I didn't know that. So when I was
Right.
interviewing, it was a shock that it wasn't. These
Right.
these these states, okay, they're making money, and could it be? Is it possible for the big business or big pharma or whatever, the government and the state to comfortably make money amongst this same subject together in peace? In peace, could that be? Could is it or no, or probably not, right?
Sure. Sure. Why not? I mean that's a good vision for things to act in harmony, and of course, and with the right people paying attention, which is what we're trying to do, here, and largely, is an area that we find ourselves in as a grow shop, is protecting home grow rights. And um, it will take awareness, to prevent the erosion of these rights.
Hmm. So in Massachusetts, how many plants can you grow legally? Well,
In Massachusetts, you can grow 6 plants per adult, up to 2 adults per household. So 12
oh,
plants right there.
well, that's beautiful. And do you think for 1 second that you won't be that right will be taken? For 1 second.
Yes, sure, for a couple seconds, for several seconds, because that is not theoretical at this point. That might have been theoretical a couple of months ago when we heard rumors that there were efforts to gather signatures at local supermarkets, but that ended being theoretical when they accumulated the several 100,000 signatures they needed, and it is officially on the ballot this year in Massachusetts to roll back home grower rights.
Where where did I'm sorry to cut you off. Where did these signatures come from? From a state that's already been legal voted to. Where did they come from?
There is a there is a particular group. The name escapes me, but there seems to be an effort led by one particular group to do this. And you can imagine it's a conservative group, and they have their philosophies on the way the country is dealing with this. So the point here is regarding that movement is that there are subscribers to it en masse, and
Wow. In a state that's already green.
in a state that's already green.
I don't even see how they can have any foothold there. But they're there, aren't they? Okay, well, we could just cross our fingers and hope to God that that doesn't work. Because I am literally scared to death. This is why I want to move out. This is why we're looking to move out of the country, because we're for over a plant. I won't go back to the streets to buy it. I'm telling you that right now, sir. So okay, let's move a little bit forward. When did you grow your first plant? I see you in your shop growing plants or whatever. When is the first time you planted your seed?
Um, so I've been growing for a long time, going back to the late 90s, well before modern gear, tent, or charcoal filters, or any clear playbooks existed. Back then, you learned through trial and error, uh, simplicity, and respecting risk, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, that taught me the fundamentals, and that's a big reason why education sits at the center of how we run our store today. So I care less about showing people shortcuts than I
Yeah.
do about having them avoid mistakes.
What do you? Some of the. Does it matter what you teach? You would. Okay. You'll teach in all mediums, cocoa, soil, and stuff. What do you prefer to grow in?
I have largely been a hydroponics guy myself.
Real.
That is how my first introduction was a bucket with a water pump in it and an air stone, and it would just recirculate. And that was my introduction. And so that's how I cut my teeth, and that was my experience for the next 25 years, on and off. Outdoors, though, I've had the pleasure of running living kind of organic soil plants,
Mm.
and so that's where I've learned the organic side of things is my outdoor garden.
Oh, so you really got into the nutrients, of the nutrients. Are you?
Sure. Yeah, I mean organics and synthetics are both can both
Synthetic.
largely deliver you to the same end results. Debatable, of course, but
I've never used synthetics, and then I think that's dope. I think synthetics is dope. I think synorgan. It's all cool stuff, dude. It's all
yeah,
cool stuff to me.
yes, synthetics are immediate response.
Yeah,
Organics are slow response. So both work, but you can the application of either can be used to your benefit. If you need something immediately, sometimes you might choose a hybrid approach and add a little synthetics to your organic
yeah.
recipe, or vice
That's
versa.
what I do. I don't
You do?
find.
Yeah.
How do you feel about now? Can you tell me why people? Can you tell me why people told you to tell people to put ice in their soil, man? Like the
That who
ridiculousness is.
hasn't heard that one, right? I definitely have heard that one in the past. So when it came up on my radar, I jumped all over it. I wanted to nail
No.
that one down. I admit it's been a while since I've heard it, but you hear that one right along with the driving a toothpick through the stalk of your plant with the 24, 48 hours of darkness. It's right in there with those other.
Yeah. What is the 48 hours of darkness going to do but really shock and traumatize the plant? Like, where's this? Like, what is that? What are you trying to gain from that?
But admittedly, I mean, I went a year or 2 years doing that 48 hours of darkness. So yeah, these are things that have to be leveled out, nailed down, and made bro science or not.
I think. Well, I've never tried it. I did try cold water a long time ago. I didn't really see any result. Maybe because I was a new grower, but I think the craziness is in things are just insane. I agree with you. Some of those reels that you make really hit home to me because you use common fucking sense, like common sense. This banana, these banana. You know what? Remember when I was on your reels and I was like, I use bananas. Like, and you weren't talking about
Oh,
that. You were like, and then I was like, what? I was talking to babe. And I was like, he's talking about putting actual
yeah.
bananas in your tent. She's like, what? I was like, hey, yeah. I was like, look, the bananas are in the tent. Where have you ever heard that? Who said that?
That one props up because you can growers have heard that you can speed up the maturation of your plant with bananas with the ethylene off gas. So why not throw them in your tent and speed up the flower production, right?
I understand that now, but still stupid.
Hold on. No. The wife said the ice thing is like it slowly waters the plant, but it's silly because in nature plants are not watered with ice. You, how do you feel about that? That's right on. That's right on.
So
I I only I'm every time I'm doing a podcast with someone I'm learning. I don't know you. It sounds like you went to Harvard. Some of the reels and things that you put out, bro. It's really high quality stuff.
thank you,
And
Tony.
how many people? How has the community been treating you? Do you get until I put a stop in it? I don't get any more negative stuff like that anymore. It's all positive energy over here. But how has the cannabis community been treating you with some of your facts that you've been presenting to the community? Do you get people that are not so, I don't know. Do they not agree? Do they agree? How many? Do they accept you and your mind?
Well, mostly yes, and largely the community has been amazing. Of course,
Yeah.
you have some people that have different opinions, and what I find is, to just talk it through, and so rarely will you see the comment section on our reels escalate beyond civil discord. So we just try to talk facts, and truthfully, people who come at us kind of in a trolly way are often misunderstanding one or two aspects of what we're talking about. And once they're cleared up on exactly where we're coming from, it's all good. So,
Yeah, like they're always. It's always. I think I don't the troll aspect of the cannabis community. I feel like if we all got, I tried, try hard to bring us all together on one page. And if you have problems with anyone that's on the real next to you, it's. I had to explain to people it's not like that. You got everyone's going to get a shine and a turn because everyone has something to say. All you guys have taught me to grow a plant because there was one time where I didn't have a podcast. I didn't get a chance to talk to all of you. And I have implemented certain things that have really helped me. So I want to say thank you to all the entire podcast, the entire community of cannabis. Because without it, this podcast, I tell them, without your knowledge, your reels, your actual showing up to go live, it just wouldn't happen. And this, I feel, could be wrong, it brings us all together. Like to see us all on one stage. When I open my page, it makes me feel good. I think we all should come together like that. And I want to make sure that you're receiving that same appreciation. If you're not having gotten your flowers, my man, we watch you, me and my wife, right over there. We watch you. And we watch everything you said, we repost and we share. And I'm not telling you this for any other reason, but it's the truth. I wouldn't lie right in front of my wife. So we thank you. We thank you for everything that you've done. Now, there's some other things that we must touch on. What do you have certain breeders that you like to work with that you've grown? What type? Maybe some type of cultivars or strains that you've tasted, or and we'll get to what do you think cannabis does for you medicinally? Your thoughts. It's a lot there. I'm sorry.
well, genetics. I think there are certainly good breeders out there, better breeders than others.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I smoke? I've
Oh,
been
yeah.
dying. I'm
Go,
just
go.
trying to respect you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, but generally, we have. I personally have some of my favorites. I probably won't list them here, but
Why?
Well, there there
It's
there
your
are there are
it's
people that I respect, and then there are there there are some that are less than in my opinion. So, but
yeah.
I think largely what you see out there in terms of the brands that are out in the forefront and have seemed to develop a following have done so for legitimate reasons.
Hmm.
So anytime you kind of see strains or breeders that other people seem to be standing behind, it's likely good information.
What you is breeders that are standing behind other breeders is likely good information? I just want
Did
to make
I
sure I
say
heard that
breeders
right.
standing behind other breeders? What I meant to say was breeders who have a positive following
Hmm.
are
Gotcha.
likely safe to go with.
Yeah.
Breeders that might be newer or might be harder to find information regarding might have less than desirable practices involved in their breeding, and you could
Agreed.
lose time that you might not want to lose.
That's right. That's agreed. When okay, so what do you like to see in a plant when it's expressing, when it's growing? What's is it a terp thing for you? Is it a structure? Is it a uh what are some great things that you look for? Not to say that you're breeding or anything, but if you grow, I need to ask you how to get rid of powdery mildew, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Can you help?
You
Maybe we can
know,
just jump to that.
the reality is powdery mildew is very difficult to eradicate and keep out of most home growers' gardens, such as yourself and mine. If you're commercial and that is your livelihood and your business, you can invest in technologies to really
Yeah,
mitigate. But I'll tell you, even with the most expensive equipment, you hear stories of grow facilities succumbing to powdery mildew all the time. So the reality is, a lot of growers go for several harvests, and this is what makes it difficult. They go for two, maybe 1, 2, 3 years growing without powdery mildew. They'll get it, and the expectation is you can eradicate it.
you can.
And
I don't think
and
so.
it's what you really almost need to just settle into as a home grower with modest means is a system of prevention. And it's not really even prevention at this point, it's mitigation. So you are spraying weekly, likely with a product like Dr. Zymes, for instance.
We gotta try that.
And that is something we recommend from veg to bloom. Because likely, if you're experiencing powdery mildew, if you go beyond day 7, 8, or 9 without spraying, you're going to start to see it coming back on your plant. So the truth is, you're likely just need to spray every week.
Yeah, and it's not and it's so it's gonna happen. It's not anything really I'm doing wrong. I
Correct.
damn near try to take my humidity to 20, but I can't get it that low. But it gets low, and I'm just like, I got a dehumidifier. It's not like that anymore. Now that I got a dehumidifier, I see a whole lot of different things. It's just sucking water out of that air. But I don't think it's gone. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm not an idiot. I don't think it's gone. I've been trying. I've bleached my tent. I've washed the fans. I've gotten new fans. Have we not? Have we? I've used baking soda and dish soap just to make sure. Then
Yeah.
people are like, "That's white stuff. That's thrips." I was like, oh,
Nope.
and they're freaking out. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just not going to show the plants right now because I know it's not thrips. And then they've seen this was another thing. They've seen white leaves. Oh my God, hold on. And they call it the yellowing leaves. What do you contribute that to? Can we get forward? We answer that. Can we read some of these comments?
Yeah. What are the
517 Legend said, he said, if the lineage is built right, the wanted traits will be dominant. When not built right, the desired traits are what we call unicorns. Umbrella Trellis said, bringing the humidity down is inviting PM. What? How do you feel about that, GZ?
Bringing your humidity down is inviting PM. Bringing
What?
humidity down is
High
inviting
humidity
PM.
brings it. Yeah, like I thought humidity, right? I thought high humidity, you're right. High humidity would fester it. Um, Maybe Umbrella Trellis, you can elaborate, my friend. Inviting PM to bring the humidity down? Sir Sweden, shout out. That's all I would like to it was a question I asked you
Yeah.
before I got off. I was like, babe, you
Oh,
remember? Go ahead.
I forgot, Tone.
What did I say? Uh,
ADHD at its finest.
yeah,
Yeah.
ADHD at the time. Powdery mildew. I forgot, sir, and I apologize. Good
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
So, in your experience, has it been high humidity or low humidity? Consistently inconsistent is a issue.
Yeah.
Mm. Air exchange is one of, if not the most important factors when it comes to dealing with eliminating powdery mildew. Temperature swing. Oh yeah, okay. It needs to be stable all through the board. Shout out to Sir Sweden 517 Legends. We got an interview with you coming. We right now we are with GZ's. What is it, Grow Shop? We
GZ Grow Shops,
appreciate
you
you,
got it.
sir. We appreciate you, sir.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about all type of things. Now, the yellowing of the leaves,
That's a big
when
one.
the right, how do you feel when you're talking about the yellowing of the leaves? Is it the lower leaves, or as the plant is already a bigger stage?
Well, you'll have situations where yellowing is normal, right?
Yeah.
If you've got a mature plant and the yellowing is calm and orderly and starting from the bottom and coming up to the top, normal, likely, right? If you've got a plant in early veg or bloom and the yellowing is happening over 24 to 48 hours and leaves are dropping off,
Ooh.
possibly with blotchy marks on your leaves, then that's likely a problem. If you've got yellowing and your leaves are droopy and your soil is wet, you might have an overwatering condition. So that's
Oh.
often letting the plant dry out in between feedings is often critical for root health and avoiding that type of lockout. So yeah, yellowing leaves is information generally, and you need to read it to diagnose the problem before you start dumping more bottles in there.
Yeah, a lot of people when they sell my plants, they're like Lost Coast. I'm like, I've never really even heard of Lost Coast. You want me to just go get it and spray it? Can I just breathe for a moment? And can we just let's just
Oh,
evaluate what's
okay.
going on here?
Lost Coast for your powdery mildew.
Yeah, but I've never heard of it. So it's like you might as well say nuclear or radioactivity or something. I've never if I got to do some research on it.
Yeah, no, that's a legitimate brand. We sell that in our store. And
517 told you well said, GZ.
okay,
we this is
thank you,
why we
brother.
got you. Dude, I told you you're a wealth of knowledge. And it's good to talk about someone who knows what they're talking about. Like I'll listen to you before I listen to a lot of people because you don't just explain things well, you make people understand it. And you may use words and terminology that you should have already heard in life, and then you can just realize what he's saying. He's not coming off rude or anything. This is what we've all known, but we're too scared to say it. And you don't have to. You've been on the Canna Brothers podcast, and we appreciate you and everything you do. Where do you see you going in the future with your business, with your endeavors? What are you doing? Like what is this? What is all this greatness that you're doing for?
That's a good question, Tone. I don't know. I'm enjoying running the store. I enjoy what I do on a daily basis. I enjoy the media aspect of it, and I enjoy working, with these brands that I've kind of grown up admiring. It's kind of like a big playpen for me,
I know it.
showing
I
up
know it.
every day.
It's fun. It's just fun. It's not work if you're having fun. I see you
Yeah.
enjoying yourself. And that
Thank
right
you.
there is inviting.
Yeah.
We have to give you your flowers. If there's anything you have going in the future, at any given point, you're more welcome. We are going to chop these reels up, sir, into more than 50 reels, and we're going to release you through the month, if not into the month and a half. You've done fantastic. Where I will your website. Let's get back to your website so that people can actually understand. We were talking about his website. He doesn't have that much, just all saturated stuff on there. We're gonna go there and try to make a purchase for you to support your business, as we did Bucknut Genetics.
Thank you, Tony. Yeah, it's gzgrowshops.com. It's more a wealth of knowledge. There's grow guides. You can check out the MyRemy. I would definitely check out the MyRemy. That's our free AI grow bot that we've kind of trained out to speak grower language, and it's what we use on the show every week. We use it in our shop. It's totally free. Try that out when you're there. And yeah, thanks. Tony, it's been. I appreciate
Mm.
you having me on here today. This has been a great conversation.
I appreciate the hell out of you, man. Thank you, and we are humbled that you come before. We got about 4 minutes before they take our live, and then we have to make sure we get this. So we always end it like 4 minutes early, if
That's
you don't
perfect,
mind.
man. No, I
Mm.
listen. I appreciate you having me and everyone that's tuned in here today, man. You have a great weekend, brother.
And you too. We love you.